Let's train your brain for peak performance. In a lot of ways, when we are in therapy or coaching sessions, what we're doing is we're allowing an unbiased third party to come in and give us insight, where insight is impossible to find any other way. No matter how anxious and reflective you are not able to get the deep-rooted insight that a professional will be able to offer you. In my past videos and in my Substack and articles, I have talked a lot about this negative dynamic that I have created. And this negative dynamic that I have created basically says, it literally says, that we are stuck in a perceived reality. And at any point in time that we are stressed out or we are overwhelmed, we are going to be in this negative dynamic because the mind says that it will wander. It will wander because of the fact that we are in a survival state. And as soon as stress comes on, it goes into survival mode and creates reactionary tendencies. And those reactions turn into cognitive distortions, which then enact our attachment, where we no longer feel that we can give and receive safely, and we're starting to put some stipulations on how we interact with others. And as we do that, we're starting to realize that our negative narrative is starting to come out. When I say realize, it's not conscious realization. This is what is happening. The negative narrative is coming in and telling us you're not that much value anyways. I don't know why you thought you could trust people. And that's pulling on our amygdala, bringing up every stress event we've ever had, creating one to come up and become a lens of how we see the world and how the world will interact with us. And that will cause perceived expectations of what people should and could be doing. How many times have you said, I can't believe they did that? I can't believe that is what happened. I can't believe they thought that that was okay. Indications you're in the negative dynamic, and it causes you to have a dysregulated emotional reaction or an interaction or expression, I should say. Shutting down, overly exploding, crying, temper fits, and anger outbursts. Both are at both ends of a dysregulated emotional state, causing more emotional reactions. And we get stuck in this. And every 2 and 3 points is a feedback loop, which means we have over 2,000 layers weighing on us. And as overwhelming as that sounds, if you can learn how to be mindful and ground, you can get out of the feedback loops. And I was reminded this week about how many ways traditional therapy creates these implicit perceived expectations that create shame and guilt and kind of prevent us from seeking help and also keep us in our suffering and despair. And that's because one of the first things that we implicitly expect in just general pop psychology and something that we ascribe to is one, breathing will help you ground and stay present. While that is true, when you are in a highly dysregulated emotional state, it's not going to be enough. It's just the beginning. It's just the precipice of getting you started to finding your awareness, because when stress and trauma happens, the body becomes phobic of the mind. And there's a dissonance there. And that's where that anxiety starts to feel really, really strong. And we're like, I don't know why. I just don't feel safe. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't feel safe. Breathing isn't going to necessarily help that, but it will help that. It's not going to cure it, but it's going to help start creating a realization that I actually do have agency. And I can breathe through it. But when we just hear, if you breathe, if you count to 10, if you stay present, you're going to be okay. And you're thinking, well, if that was that simple, then what is wrong with me? And then you're feeding that negative narrative. The same with gratitude. We often hear about, well, just journal and get gratitude and everything will be okay. But gratitude is assuming that you are in a place where you can emotionally accept all the strength building and growth and purpose. And the reality is most of us are stuck between like a 1 and 2 on that spectrum, 7 being you're grateful. We're stuck in suffering and despair. We are not anywhere near grateful. So to have an implicit expectation to be grateful is a lot to ask of somebody. And so what I do in my coaching program is I break it down into the smallest of success-oriented baby steps. We don't look at outcomes. It will throw you in a perceived expectation and kill all of your joy. And instead we say, let's get a spectrum coming out here. Let's remove this all or nothing thinking and let's build a spectrum. And where are you on that spectrum? And as we find where we're at, we start connecting and feeling validated in that space. We label. We say, this is where I am. I feel connected. Other people are in this place too. And then we look just one step forward and we start to connect with that one space closer to healing. Whether it's emotional mastery, whether it's gratitude, whether it's acceptance, whatever the case may be, we just take one step forward. And as we do that, we're starting to really build lasting organic change. What psychology has done up until now in my neuroscience-based framework is it's created mechanical change. It changed you from the outside, but it didn't change you from the inside. And so using my framework and really understanding the neuroscience that is happening behind our behaviors and that behavior is predictable, we're able to find remission in 1 to 3 sessions. That means there's no clinical indication of depression or anxiety in 1 to 3 sessions. That's huge. And therapy and coaching isn't for a select group of people. Remember, 95% of our decision making is implicit and we're living on the bank of suffering and despair. Technically, 95% of the population could use an unbiased third party to come in and give them insight, let them know and find awareness of where they're at on the negative dynamic, to help them achieve acceptance, not agreement, but acceptance without judgment, and to give them and teach them the correct individuated skills that they particularly need in order to get out of the negative dynamic and set those intentions to find a positive flow state. And if that sounds like something that you would like, then please reach out, book a individual consultation, and see how we can help you live a happier, healthier, more purpose-driven life. We will unlock that neuro edge because we will find where neuroscience meets success. So like, share, subscribe, and learn more ways where we can learn the superpower that is our brain.